If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is our live call and talk show all about the Wheel of Time. And we're back, strangely, on a Saturday night. Yes, that's right. We're here to talk about, you can't really call this a leak footage. It was just dropped. This first look of Moiraine that we got from Amazon Prime, maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks back. Maybe it was a lot more than that. I can't remember. 7 or 8 weeks. And now it looks like German Prime Video decided to drop a longer version of that same first look, and we get a lot more to look at. So that's why we're back. Let's start talking about that. And to do that with me, I have two wonderful guests. Let me welcome to the show, Nae'blis and Malkier Talks. How you doing, gentlemen?
Hey man, how's it going?
I did.
Excellent.
Oh,
okay.
wait, double wave.
Double wave. Okay, so let's kick this off. Let's show this a couple times to the audience. I'm assuming everyone here has seen it that's in live chat, but if you haven't, here you go. This is what I think was maybe the original first look, and they just gave us a small portion of it. We'll see. Here you go is from German Prime Video. Thank you.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower. Do not underestimate the women in this tower. Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
Okay, so I immediately, what were your reactions here? Before we start slowing this down, before we take it backwards, before we do, what we do around here, we're breaking this thing down. Nae'blis, what was your reaction when this thing dropped?
My literal first reaction was, is that a Trolloc?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I've seen the Moiraine part. Cool. She's channeling. What's that in the background? That's what I was talking about. But
I did the same thing. I was like, Trolloc! Literally.
Yeah, that is definitely a good reaction to have, because that is what you see. And in fact, I thought it might be two Trolloc, but now I'm wondering if that is actually Lan's leg back there. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. But Rob, what was your reaction to this drop?
Well, I mean, it caught it on a Saturday. That's crazy. Just to throw that out there to Germany of all, not saying anything against Germany, but of all places, just to randomly put it out there. I mean, hello UK. But the Trolloc in the Trolloc in the backgrounds. I was like, how big is the Trolloc? That was the first thing I was looking at, and there seems to be someone else there. Fighting against, you can't really tell, or at least in the videos I've seen, you couldn't really tell. But just to see the size of the Trolloc, and it looks huge in comparison to the other person in the scene there. So I was really excited about that, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And we have no idea. I'm assuming this is some asset that was sent to them. I mean, this is Prime Video dropping this stuff. This isn't like some random fan running to this thing. This is Prime Video. So, and I got tagged, but thank you very much to the viewer and follower out there that tagged us on Twitter. Really appreciate that. It was literally like 7 hours after this thing dropped. I went to Instagram and found out they'd already had like 27,000 views of this video. Yeah. And it came as a surprise to most of us, I think. So why don't we jump into this? I know there were a lot of comments about clothing. That was like, I think that's what I got the most comments about on Instagram, which is people's comments about Moiraine's costume. But I think the Trolloc is, since this is our first look, let's dig into that a little bit, Taylor. Why don't you show the video again here? And first of all, we're going to go slow through this thing, and I want to kind of see where we can see it. So right here in this first view, you get this view of that Trolloc, like you were saying, Rob, which is looks huge. And so yeah, go ahead and start slowly going through that, Taylor, and see if we can't see. Keep going. Yeah, so it almost looked like the Trolloc's back that maybe we were looking at right at the beginning. Okay, keep panning it through. Now, this is what I'm talking about. So right there in the bottom left-hand corner, you almost see, didn't Lan have kind of a belt type of thing in his costume?
I'm slowing it down and zooming in. That's 100% Lan.
That looks like Lan's belt right there. And I almost think I see a sword swipe here.
Yep, I see it
but
too.
go ahead and Taylor, and go ahead and like he's moving his shoulder there. And then, and Nae'blis, you brought this up. Oh, I'm trying to see what do we see right there with the Trolloc? I can't tell what that is. So yeah, let me see if I can see that. Oh yeah, there it is. So the Trolloc is standing up. I wasn't sure what we were getting there, but you can see the Trolloc standing back up past her arm. So this is something that Nae'blis, you brought up, and let's do this. Yeah, Taylor, can you run this thing obviously backwards for everyone, because perhaps they were actually, I don't know, maybe they showed us this in reverse to kind of get the effect they wanted with Moiraine. So as we go backwards, does it make more sense out of the Trolloc's movements? Because that's one of the things people brought up, which was there was an oddity to the Trolloc's movements, like he was... maybe not. I mean, that seems weird too, like the Trolloc turning his back to Lan there. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell from that, Nae'blis. I know you were so you're saying you just thought it made more sense of the movements themselves, but maybe it does. There's a weird, like you said, there's almost like a jumping effect. Is that what you were seeing on that, Nae'blis?
Well, if you play it in, I'm looking at it backwards on my screen right now.
Yeah,
and it plays where the Trolloc's movements are actually a little bit more believable, because he's spinning around and fighting Lan. Like I would imagine multiple Trollocs fighting Lan, but if you play it in the normal direction, that Trolloc is literally doing dance moves. Like it's
yeah. I can totally see what you're saying there. Yeah, this does, the camera panning away from her actually does make more sense to those movements. So yeah, I think you are probably right on that. Yeah, some people are agreeing with here in chat. And Metromorph, thank you for joining us here. By the way, this is a live call and talk show. We're going to open those call lines here shortly. But I do think you are right about this. I think that's one thing we probably can say, that those movements look like they make more sense. And then, because when she speaks, doesn't it break? Sorry, not when she speaks, because she's talking outside of it. Then it kind of cuts a little bit to her face, and then you have the channeling. So I kind of wonder if they've pieced together that where maybe the panning away is the after effect of her channeling, and they're panning in, so it's reversed. Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at it. If you're again, I'm playing it in reverse. So like 1 second on the reverse, it's the close up of her face, and then the next frame it's cut. So there's an entire part where it jumps from her face to her body.
Yeah.
So like it's cutting out either several frames or several seconds. So maybe we're not seeing it, or maybe that's the cut for the trailer.
Yeah. I like what Joe Polly said in chat. If you play it backwards, you get turned. That's right.
I also saw a Let Narg dance or something. From Mirasu Let Narg dance hashtag. I love that. That's great.
So that is certainly what looks like a Trolloc. Do you think that's CGI been placed in there, or do you think we're actually getting practical effects there?
Well, I was live streaming earlier randomly, and we talked about this in chat and on the stream, and we think it's the initial thoughts were that it's actually real. There's someone in some kind of suit. Yeah.
Interesting. That's a good point. It does look again like it is something physical there, but obviously I would imagine it's gonna be a mix of the two involved. But yeah, it looks huge. I think it was the Bard of the Red Hand said definitely a dude in a suit.
Yeah.
So by the way, like I said, this is a live call and talk show. I'll throw the number up. If you have reactions to this trailer, we want to hear what your reactions were. Again, it's 5 seconds versus what we got before. It was maybe a second and a half. We got the very end of this. What are your thoughts here, Rob? Like, why do you think we didn't get this one initially when they did that first release?
My initial thoughts, I mean, obviously, I think we're all in the same boat that they thought, has someone accidentally dropped this? Is someone getting fired for putting this out in Germany? But perhaps this was just the way they decided to tease it out in Germany as opposed to here and in America. I'm not sure. Perhaps they're scared of you, Matt.
In America,
you glean too much from their reveals. So,
Well, I like that. I like that idea that they're spreading around some of the love, right? Giving it to fans that are not just here, right? They're going to show it all internationally, and so I like the idea that there might be drops from other Prime Video, establishments over the next bit here. Maybe we'll start seeing some of these things come out, like you said, in the UK and India and other places in the world.
It's clever from a marketing point of view because everyone's going to go to all their different Prime accounts and follow them and subscribe, and they're going to watch more and more content that they'll reveal things in other countries, just their own shows.
Well, Marvel,
they won't do it. Yeah, Marvel, there we go.
I mean, they do it with trailers for Japan. Like, there's a Japanese trailer for a movie that's slightly differently edited and has a couple different scenes in it. That's fairly common, although this is just random. It's just weird in the middle of a Saturday. I guess it came out a couple hours ago, so I'm not.
Yeah, it is a weird thing to have dropped on a Saturday. That's for sure. I don't know. Maybe that's.
I mean, the timings don't even line up with when they released in America, because would you say it was about 7 hours ago it came out, Matt?
Yeah, I want to say, well, now about 9 or 10, I think. Yeah, it's been a while. At least that's what I thought for the timestamp. Leah said in chat, there was an entire article about the prosthetics being used for Watt and the company doing it like Pan's Labyrinth. So definitely people in massive costumes. And what's cool is that you can just get a glimpse of it. I can't wait till we get it up close. I want to see this thing up close and personal next time. So to me, this is like just a nice little teaser for what a Trolloc might look like. So, but to your point, Nae'blis, about it going backwards on this one, I actually do. It does make more sense that she embraces and then she throws her head back, right? So if you show this Taylor again, as you pan backwards on this video, forward, it kind of is like, okay, her head comes down, and that's cool. But the idea of her channeling here or embracing the source, and then right here, stuff's happening, and then she leans her head back. It just as like the wind and everything picks up, makes a lot more sense to me. So yeah, I think I'm totally sold on this idea that it's backwards.
Now, I think this begs the question, okay? Because lost in how cool this is, there are two things that I think are worthy of discussion here. Number one, Moiraine borrowed a pantsuit from Hillary Clinton.
So, by the way, why do you think that's pants? People have said pants here.
It's got the look. That's all. It's just got the look. Like, I could be wrong.
So right there, you can kind of get a feel for the embroidery, by the way, on what looks like whatever, if it's a blouse or a pant. There is like some embroidery off to the right side of that. I know it's a pocket, but it looks like some kind of embroidery there. So yeah, but speak to this. You don't like the look? Is that what you're on this?
I actually don't mind it. I don't think we've seen enough of the costume. It is a little. I don't know if I'm a fan of the coat because she's basically wearing a jacket, and I wonder if she just throws that on because it was the middle of the night. I don't know. It could be, like, I see people saying it's a skirt, and it very well could be.
Yeah.
I was mainly joking about that. The real thing that I think is worthy of discussion here is what in the heck is she channeling? Like, at what point in the series do we have a wind up where you stick your arms out wide and embrace the source while everybody's fighting around you in real time? Like, where does that happen?
Well, the air's moving, so something else is going on there, right? It looks like a lot of movement in the air. So I'm assuming it's some kind of air-related channeling. Obviously, her hair's moving, and there's dust all over the place. So yeah, I kind of
maybe she's calling lightning.
Yeah, maybe lightning, some type of wind event. Looks like it makes more sense.
When they're running from the Trollocs on the way to Shadow Logoth, and she does the upheaves or the earth, does she clap? Is there a clapping motion involved in that? I'm not remembering that correctly.
I can't remember. I know she has her staff, right? Like, if you remember, doesn't she? I thought that is part of. I thought the staff.
Yeah, she slammed that down, didn't she? Okay, so
I thought that's what it was. So yeah, minus the staff, since they're not using it, doesn't surprise me that they're showing some kind of movement. Probably to clue in the viewer that something's happening, like, and that she's responsible for it. But yeah, that's an interesting.
It's got to be
point.
dramatic the first time, hasn't it? So
yeah, and adding some drama to it actually does make sense to me, especially since they did drop the staff. If that's the first time you're hearing about this and you're watching this, yeah, no staff.
gird your loins.
The other thing is it also proves, and again, I saw some people talking about this in the chat, but earlier we thought that clip might have just been a promo clip where Moiraine's wig is plopping off, but it looks like that might actually be something that they missed in editing, because if this is a real trailer.
But I doubt now that that's not going to be fixed. it's. I mean, they're not releasing this trailer without. Yes, like the fact
Although
that this
they did
clip
release
wasn't
this.
fixed. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know,
Check out Unraveling the Pattern.
Gotta remind yourself, this is not a leak. They put this out.
That's true. That is
It
true.
didn't come from Rafe, this is the first. This is a monument. This is monumental, actually. This is the first Wheel of Time thing we have gotten without any mention from Rafe.
Yep.
Yeah, and not from the Wheel of Time account
Right.
itself. You know, this is coming from Prime Video. But you know, I wonder how much control they actually had. You know, when it came to doing that. You know, actually affecting that release. You know, I don't know.
At some point, I mean, it wasn't just going to be Rafe talking to fans and releasing it to us. Like, it was going to be right. Like, this is the first major marketing push.
Yeah,
that doesn't involve Wheel of Time community.
That's true, and it just dropped. We were there. Some of us at least were the last. It seems like some fans saw it, but we did not know about it. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let me bring in our first caller here. Actually, Taylor, let's play this clip before I bring in the caller. Let's play this for fans one more time. Let's go through it really slowly here. And yeah, so go ahead and go through that slowly. Yeah, I like this part of it. Always, yeah, as she's coming here, people are saying there's something on her left shoulder. Do you see that, Rob or Nae'blis?
Yeah, I see a little. It's like a line of something that sparkles or slightly shines on her left.
It's on both shoulders.
It's on both shoulders, actually. Yeah, now I'm looking at it.
Okay, so it looks like it's just part of the coat itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like she's wearing shoulder pads. I'm not.
Some kind of it looks like just like she's raising her arms, and it's just an effect on the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's we want those arms down so we can see what that looks like. But it does seem like there's like a long robe, like almost jacket, if you would. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it in the chat. Skeeterish pointed this out. This is totally what it is. It's the cloak hood.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's a cloak hood.
Cloak, and it's just flipped over. That's what this is. So that's what she's wearing. It looks like a jacket. In reality, this is just her cloak that she has thrown on.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay.
Angle.
Yeah.
It's a weird angle, so it looks funny.
That makes a lot of sense.
Makes more sense now. Like I'm looking at what is she wearing?
Well, it did have like a little Mad Max moment with the shoulder, thing there. Kind of gave me some Mad Max vibes. I don't know why, but
or like 80s businesswoman vibe where she's
no. But I like that it's a cloak and you're talking about the hood there. That makes a lot of sense, and I like the cloak looks different. Again, I don't want to see something honestly that's from 200 or 300 years ago. I don't want this to be. Again, I don't know when Bridgerton happened, but I don't need Wheel of Time Bridgerton. Like I want something that feels 6,000 years in our fantasy future, regardless of other aspects of this. So let's bring our first caller into the show and let's see what they have to say. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
This is Vance, the Bard of the Red Hand. How are y'all doing tonight, fellas?
Vance.
Let's go, Vance.
So what have we gotten right? What have we gotten wrong? What have we missed?
Oh, no, just everything is just on point so far. I did like the call out that that's not shoulder pads and it's probably the hood of the cloak. I thought it was shoulder pads at first, and I was like, oh, it's a power suit. Yeah, I can dig it. Why not?
I saw that all the day today. Like one power suit was like a hashtag going around.
Yeah,
but no, I like
it was great.
I like that now. Seeing the hood, or the idea that probably is a cloak and hood, makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
What else What else kind of came to mind here? What do you think about that Trolloc?
Trolloc horns. It has horns, guys. You can see them in the shot, like they shine with the reflection of the light. I'm just so excited that we're getting Trollocs with horns. I was like, I didn't know if they were going to commit to like the full on like Beast Man style Trollocs. You know, if they might just make them like full beast, or like, you know, just dudes with like little patches of fur on them, kind of like some of those early Daryl K. Sweet covers, where they're not very good looking Trollocs. So I'm just pumped to see that. One, they look massive. They're very, very furry. At least that guy is. So he's definitely got some like bear vibes going on, I guess, or maybe I don't know. I'm just but the horns sold it for me. That's like, yes, come on. Can I get everyone in chat to be excited about the horns, please? Let's go. Come on, horny Trolloc.
How is everyone? Yeah, horny Trollocs. The Master of the Deck beat you to that one in chat. Horny Trolloc.
Yeah, horny Trolloc alerts. There's all going on.
Good.
Yeah,
I love it. Perfect.
It looks very Minotaur-esque.
Yes, I was about to say exactly the same thing. It's
yeah,
which I love. I think that's a great way to for your first view of a Trolloc. I think it's great because then you can expand upon that.
I don't know that I want it being hairy. Like it looks like you know what I mean? Like it's all like hair. Am I wrong in reading this way? Like it doesn't look like it's wearing clothing because aren't
right.
You don't know if you want it to be hairy.
Brought that up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like, I mean, we can't really see if it's wearing armor or anything in the background there, right? Because it's out of focus and it's off to the back. So we'll just have to wait and see. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just pretty pleased that it looks like it's a practical person in a suit and not CGI, and that it just had horns, y'all. Come on. Like...
But yeah,
I don't know why I fixated on that. I'm just so excited about that.
Bane and Chiad said, "What is it wearing, and is it naked, please?" Okay, let's go to the screen. Taylor, bring us back up. Let us identify the Trolloc here, and can you tell if there's any kind of armor effect on this Trolloc? And it's really hard. It has a weapon in its right hand, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
It does look like it's wearing some type of like leather chest armor.
Yeah, something on its chest and around its waist. It does look like also.
I think I see something potentially on the shoulder too, just from one particular angle.
If it's not wearing armor, it looks like a Ninja Turtle, and I'm not sure I like that.
If it's not wearing armor,
like if that's its chest, like
I'm not seeing a shell when it turns around, so I think we're safe.
Right.
No, that thing's huge. That view of that, oh my gosh, like the legs just look ginormous.
It's towering over land.
Yeah, absolutely massive.
I don't think I did not. I'm so glad that we looked at this, because all today when I was watching this, I did not connect that is where Lan was. I was thinking Lan was maybe behind her, and that was where True Trolloc. So, yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of. Oh man, the comments are hilarious.
Yeah, this is great. Is Lan doing the movement that we saw in the Lan reveal? That's the vibe.
It kind of
looks like it.
He's swiping.
Yeah,
like you can see his sword swing. Like he's swiping this way.
Yeah, and it almost looks like when he did swipe, and this Trolloc's coming forward with an attack, it almost maybe looks like he's trying to deflect away from it, or kind of get it, push it back away from him in some form or fashion with it. I'm seeing all sorts of comments about Trolloc bodies here and Trolloc parts. I think Lezbi Nerdies was the funniest. Yes, it doesn't seem like we're going to be looking at any Trolloc parts that Lezbi Nerdy doesn't want to see. That's for sure.
We're going to get basically the Watchmen version of the Wheel of Time with the big blue.
More or less beast or man. Noel said more or less beast or man. Yeah, I mean, to me, with the Trollocs, you want to get a mix, right? They're not all going to be exactly the same, and they shouldn't be. And you're gonna get some diversity in Trolloc parts, if you will. And so I think that is. I don't think we can judge one blurry photo and know what we're gonna get here.
I mean, the books describe Trollocs in so many different ways. So
Yeah.
They're going to be different.
Yeah, more or less exactly. Like
Oh yeah,
there'll be
Bird beat
variations.
Trolloc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead, Nae'blis.
I had some other I mean, if you take that apart, because remember back when we were breaking down the Moiraine clip, we were like, "What's that fire going on in the background?"
Yeah.
Well, now we know it's not fire. Those are the lights in the buildings.
Well, but see, the land one looks like The land one absolutely looks like fire. So I think you're right. That would mean that if so, a lot of people thought the cart was behind Lan and that there was a building behind Lan. So again, if we try to pair these together, that wouldn't make too much sense because she's right there, and that's not like you didn't see her, and the building's really close. But maybe she is really close to some buildings right there.
Well, the other thing is keep in mind we have two shots of Lan that are cut together. We have the start of him turning and looking like a badass, like he wants to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true. That's
and we have the fight, right?
Yeah,
those could be two separate clips.
Yeah, you're right. So the fight, the swipe is probably a different one and could be that one, whereas it began. I still think that it's probably, you're right. This one shows that it's lights and buildings, but the fire is totally clear in the land one. As you go, you can see the flame kind of burning behind him. So it looks like probably a mix of just lights and buildings and, some things are on fire. I mean, so any doubt? Okay, for those of you in chat, you guys are awesome for being here. If you're on Facebook, come over and live chat on YouTube. That's where we can see your comments. You can find us. Just look up the Dusty Wheel. If you're here on a Saturday night, like this damn video. Come on. Because we're all geeks and we're talking about this trailer. And let other fans know that this is the best kind of Saturday night event for us here in the Wheel of Time. And if you're new to this place, please do subscribe. We'd love to have you here and support what we do. We do live shows like this all the time. Weekly, sometimes twice weekly. And will up until and well through when the show comes out. So, but I wanted to backtrack a little bit and talk about this idea of where this is at. So I'm going to ask chat this and then ask you two, and then I'll ask you, Vance, and I'll let you go because we have another caller I want to bring into the show here. So for those in chat, thumbs up if you believe this is Emond's Field and that this is the green and whatever out, or thumbs down if you still think this likely is somewhere else. And so, yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down here. And to you, Vance, first, is this Emond's Field?
Oh, yeah, I think there's no doubt in my mind that this is Emond's Field. I mean, the way that the backdrop of the set looks really close to that concept art of Winter Night or Beltane that we had. And it would make sense. Like, I mean, where else does this happen, really, where Trollocs are coming in and they're fighting in a town? It can't be after Baerlon, right? Because one, we're not even sure Baerlon's in the show, and two, they fight them outside of Baerlon. So where else do they fight Trollocs in a inhabited town before they split?
Right.
My money's on Emond's Field.
Yeah, it's so hard to believe that this is somewhere else for sure. So I went with you there, and basically, I don't think I've seen. I'm trying to see if I've seen any thumbs down. Oh, MK has some thumbs down.
The innkeeper's wife.
Innkeeper's wife went thumbs down too, huh? Wow. Okay. So there are a few of you. I'm kind of curious then, if you were thumbs down, where do you think that this is at? And to you, Rob, are you Emond's Field all the way?
Oh yeah, I've brought up the artwork from the artwork reveal that they gave us, the concept stuff, and those lights. I mean, they're matching the concept art perfectly. The exact placement is tough. I think looking at it, she's probably to the left of the concept artwork, somewhere in that sort of region, where the cart was, and that would match up with it not being the cart behind Lan. But I mean, it's all up for change, isn't it? It's just concept art at the end of the day. But those light fittings, they look exactly the same. So I'm willing to bet 100% this is Emond's Field.
Okay. Are you Nae'blis? Are you concurring on that one?
I don't think it's a question. I don't think it's even a question.
Emond's Field it is. And so my daughter said thumbs up on this one also. She's like chapter 30 something, and she's a new reader and already believes this is Emond's Field. So,
fantastic.
Tip from Miss Sarah James, really appreciate that. And what I love about Miss Sarah James' tip was it was for Trolloc loincloths. Yes. At least $10, and I think we can. Yes, they need to gird their loins too. Excellently put. Hey, Vance, thank you so much for calling in, man. I really appreciate hearing from you and jumping in on this episode. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, Vance.
All right. Have a good one, y'all. Hashtag Bearland.
Bearland. Okay, man. See ya. Bye-bye. And let me bring in our next caller to the show. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, this is Aradiapedia.
Aradiapedia,
hey,
how you doing?
hey.
So, what are your thoughts? You got to have a lot of them.
I mean, there's so many thoughts. Let's see, what's the most important thought? Cosplay. That was my literal first thought. I am not a cosplayer. I've never gone to a convention. I've never put a costume together that took any effort at all. And I saw that outfit and was like, oh, I might be able to pull that off. Without spending $300 on medieval Ren Fair authentic handcrafted leather and linen. And I just, like, okay, not to bring up the thing that we do not talk about. But one of the things I liked about Winter Dragon was that the costumes didn't feel Renaissance. And this pulled that off. And I really appreciated the time goes in a circle. Business casual becomes medieval ceremonial. I know you guys are talking about a cape and a hood. And I love the fact that we might not be having traditional Lord of the Rings knockoff cosplay from this.
Oh, yes. And I bet that's 100%. I know people are like, but this. Let's jump on this because I thank you for bringing this up, Radia. Showing images of what other people have done, other cosplay that's been out there, exact descriptions that Jordan had. I feel really confident in thinking they just didn't want this to look like every other thing that looks like those renditions. Like you said, like Lord of the Rings or any other show that's ever been. So actually taking a look at fashion and trying to come up with some kind of fashion that's not going to look like it's from every other series that they've ever done. I love that they've taken that and run with it. I mean, I can't wait to see what these are. I mean, we have one look at this costume and we haven't even gotten up close to it. I'm sure she doesn't wear this every day. Like what I mean is like she's gonna have multiple costumes, right? Most of these characters will at some point. So again, how many different costumes do we all have? It's like you catch us on a different day, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm in a cloak or I'm in a sweatshirt, whatever it is. So yeah, I like that they like you're saying played against that for sure. And I like that you said that this is something that most people could cosplay and not have to worry about the costs of trying to look like, they're going to Renaissance Fair. So yeah, that's a great first comment. So what is your next comment then?
Trying to fit Lan into that thing, trying to see like, well, where's the blue light versus the orange light and how's the motion of the Trollocs versus the motion of Lan? And I definitely think that little dance move in the background involves Lan. That's got to be Lan and a Trolloc. It just has to be. That's got to be the same scene, right?
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. And I'm most confident about it because of the belt.
Yeah, it's the belt giving it away.
If you want to show this for people that maybe weren't watching, Taylor, let's throw that back up on the screen, and we'll show that. I don't know if you saw that one in Aradiapedia about the belt, but we kind of slowed it down. And in the far left-hand corner, as you're looking at this video, there's a moment, probably like 2 seconds in, where you can almost see light reflecting off of what looks like the belt that I think we saw on Lan. So yeah, Taylor will get us to that spot here in the video, right there. Yep. You can just see the light reflect off of that, and it looks, I mean, I'd be surprised. It doesn't mean that's necessarily Lan, right? If this is Emond's Field, this could be a variety of different, this could be not random, but just villagers. maybe that's
We know that there's exactly 2 swords in this whole village. Okay?
Oh, that's
gotta
true.
be Lan.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's a very good point, yeah.
That's a good point, that if it does look like a sword swipe, so I agree with you. Yeah, I was trying to make some kind of space for it. Like, look, there's probably other people there, but considering the fight happening around Moiraine, who's going to be there other than Lan? And you're right, with a sword, Yeah.
And Moiraine looks utterly unconcerned about the Trolloc. So if that wasn't land,
That's true.
Exactly. She knows
Bowie
he's
is back
there.
holding off the Trollocs.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, were you saying something else, Nae'blis?
No, I was just making comments about I don't think that's Sen Bowie back there holding off.
By the way, Nathaniel, thank you very much for the tip. Really appreciate that. Other thoughts here. Obviously, the costuming was one of the biggest kind of comment drivers. When I posted this on Instagram, I immediately saw people immediately jump on the costuming side of it. And so I think that is going to probably be one of the biggest discussion points for fans. And again, I don't know that it matters that much, because it's really the fans that have paid the closest attention. Because I can't tell you what people look like in their clothing. I have no idea. It's like, what does Alana's dress look like? Don't know. What was Varen wearing? Don't really care. When she was talking about Trolloc, sure, I'm interested. So there's gonna be lots of fans that this won't bother, but there's gonna be a lot of fans that really care about some specific part of it, and I know that will end up being a big conversation. So,
well,
Go ahead.
Okay. When I was talking with some people earlier about this, it's obviously late at night. This looks like it's happening. Who's to say she's not in some casual clothes for the evening, about to go to bed? They sense Trollocs. They rush outside, and she just grabs a cloak because it's freezing or whatever. And this is, for want of a better phrase, her pajamas. Who's to say it's not that?
Right.
Well, I genuinely think, all joking aside out of it, I think that the way that this is framed makes it look like she's wearing a pantsuit with shoulder pads, right? But the reality is I think this is really a cloak, and I think if you see her turn around, it's going to make more sense. It won't look as maybe weird as it does right now. I'm seeing Hillary Clinton memes right now. Somebody's going to put a Hillary Clinton face on this. I'm waiting for it. Somebody's going to do it by the end of this chat. I already know it, but
yeah, there are definitely going to be those things. I'm seeing some of these. Yes, we don't know what and we actually don't know what the world looks like. And so I want to speak to that in costuming perspective, which is we don't know, again, how well this right. Obviously matches in with whatever other thing that they're doing from a costuming perspective. In other words, maybe we'll see more, clothing like this versus what other people were expecting, again, from a more Renaissance era. I saw, so yeah, that's the part that comes to me, which is, we're going to have to gird our loins and get used to what the feel is of this turning of the wheel versus keep on pointing back at the books and saying, look, it says right here that it was a blue cloak, and they used a red cloak. Do these people not read the books? There's always a feeling you're like, why do we always appeal to that?
I think that's the value of this.
Yeah.
I think that's really the value of this, is they can mix and match and break our expectations, and you think you've calibrated, and then no, they'll slap you around again and bring in, some 8th century Chinese garb or something that you never expected. I think that's what they're doing with this, is they are letting you know you don't know what's coming.
Yes. And Rafe said that a couple times, but now even a 5-second trailer like this does the same thing. By the way, I want to say to Amish Comic, really appreciate the tip. Amish Comic said, shout out to my friend Thorsten in Germany, who agreed to be fired for dropping this clip with the understanding that man fear would happen tonight. No.
Did we get to 50K? Is that what happened?
No, we have not. Man fear is not going to happen for many, many nights. Hey, Aradiapedia, thank you so much for calling in. Any final thoughts about this trailer?
Definitely Emmons Field. Absolutely. Hands down. 100% Emmons Field. Thanks so much for having me on, guys.
Thank you for being there. Thank you for the call so much. That was great. Yeah. Ready to be. See you soon. Bye-bye. So, by the way, production has to step away here shortly. So let's watch this in slow motion one more time before production steps away and we don't have the slow-mo capability at our fingertips. So, and by the way, if you want to give us a call, we'll probably be going for another, who knows, 15, 20, 30 minutes, and we'll sign off for the night. This was just a lot of fun to check in, but there's no callers in line right now, so if you want to call, you can get on here with us shortly. So Taylor, go ahead and show us this clip again, and let's go through this pretty slowly. I love that we've picked out Lan here in that bottom corner. And it's like you almost want to take the trailer and superimpose it off that left side. Not that it would look right. So yeah, something big is happening with that air, flying around her. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I love this drawing back now away from this and her head tipping up. Yeah, this is Oh, I wonder if no. I was gonna say I wonder if the Trolloc here was the Trolloc kind of almost running at Lan here, and then he passes him a little bit, basically. Anyway,
what direction are you watching?
If I go backwards, if I go it was I guess right here. Yeah, I was going backwards through it, so it almost seemed like there's a lot more movement there that we're not seeing. So I don't wonder how much this is slowed down already. But anyways, I guess if we go backward through it, it almost looks like he's running at him and he passes him up a little bit. Like there was a lot of emphasis in the movement. But anyway,
I can see that. No, I can see what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's kind of that's kind of funky there, but I think it suggests what I'm saying is I think there's a lot more movement going on with the Trolloc that we're getting the picture of, and so he's swinging through and missing perhaps, and then that's why he turns his back to him.
Well, and I could be extrapolating here too, but it almost seems to me as though there might be multiple Trollocs fighting Lan here.
Yeah, no, because Lan does look off to his left. That's right. Lan looks to his left,
and that other one is kind of circling Lan.
Yeah,
like it's taking the other side of him. I could see that being the case. I mean, I don't see one Trolloc being much of a match for Lan.
Not at all.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like there has to be probably a couple.
Yeah, there has to be at least two there. And like you said, he does look off to his left, and that would be to even the spot that we can't see on the screen here. So yeah, absolutely. And by the way, thank you very much to Tim Miller. He just tipped us and said, I think Moiraine and Lan are still not known as Aes Sedai and Warder, so the clothing might represent that as well. That is something I've seen brought up, and I do agree with that notion of just because that Jordan had them travel in a certain attire doesn't mean that's the way the show decided to take this. In other words, a more secretive approach, and where they're not trying to call attention to themselves, not wearing certain kind of cloaks, and not, like we talked about, she doesn't have, why can't I think of the name of it? Why can't I think of the name of the jewel she wears on her head?
The Kisira.
The Kisira, thank you. And Rafe has said that she will, obviously, but not right here. Again, kind of not calling attention as much to themselves as maybe in the books they did. So, and like I said, production's on its way out, so it'll just be us gentlemen for the rest of the evening. I do have the trailer on tap. We can always play that just full speed. So thank you very much. And let's just take these callers. Wow, we had a ton of callers call in. So let's take these callers, and then let's see what they have to say. And yes, I want to call out, I saw a tip come in from Talon. Thank you very much, Talon Tippets, for tipping us here. And just with the icon there, just kind of the laughter icon. That's great. So let's bring our next caller. We just got a ton of callers. It's like they came out of the woodwork here. That's awesome.
Well, you said no one was calling. They were like,
I know. I said no one's calling. It's open, so you can call. So let's bring these in, and we'll try to get through these pretty quickly. If you are in line for the call, we might get these, like I said, go through them a little bit more quickly than we did in the last ones because there are more of you waiting. So let's bring our next caller into the show. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, this is Al.
Al, nice to have you here with us. So what were your thoughts about this, what I would think of as the more full or whatever complete first look at Moiraine?
Well, I kind of had like two waves, I'll say, of impressions. First, so like I do some concept art, like design work kind of stuff. So my first reaction to the costumes, like I'm a big costume history nerd, so I was like, oh, okay, not as much embroidery as I was imagining through Jordan's like endless descriptions of it. But then on the second wave, I was like, okay, you know what? This is sort of modern, like a modern adaptation of what we might think of as kind of Renaissance historical wear. So then I was like, okay, I like this. This looks good. And also the other thing I was thinking was there's probably some sort of like design language they're trying to link between Lan and Moiraine. So I like that she has a very simple. It looks almost like the cloak that he was wearing, that Korean style. I don't know if that piece is called the handbook, but just that upper chest area with the neckline, that sort of translates to what Lan is wearing. So you can tell that they're kind of a pair, which I think someone just mentioned. But
that's
really
a great.
that.
Yeah, what a great call out. The idea that they're
And
both
also,
traveling simple. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, she seemed to have some sort of belt, like a braided piece around her waist. And that also, to me, called to the belt that Lan was wearing that you guys were talking about. So I thought that was just another, like a little link between them. I love those little design details. So I think like as you start looking more into the piece, like it might seem simple 80s business casual at first, but I think there's a lot to dig in there. Once you start peeling back the layers.
Especially once we get a more full look at it, right? We're getting a very small look at this, and like you said, once we see Lan and Moiraine together, once we understand the approach that they're taking in Edmund's Field, once we understand what was happening before this, I can't imagine it won't all make more sense, to fans. So yeah, I love the call out that you've connected here with Lan and Moiraine. That's great. So thank you very much, Al. I really appreciate that. What do you think? Are you sold on this being Edmund's Field before we let you go?
Oh yeah. I was sold on that since looking at the concept art. I think it links together. The lights in the background, and I don't really know where else they would be other than Edmund's Field. So yeah, to me it's a sure thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like the hairy Trolloc with the breastplate and the codpiece. There you
go. There you go. Yeah, some people are going to like the hairy Trolloc and some not so much. That's going to be how this whole thing goes forever. Hey, thank you, Al, so much, man. Have a good one, okay?
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you both about his comments really quick, and then we have two international callers waiting, so we'll get them here in shortly. But I would want to say Humberto Tremujas said, like, it's not a cartoon. People change clothes as a tip. Thank you. Like that. That's what it's really hard, right? Just maybe as a reader, like you're always just kind of like, they're in this outfit until they tell you they're not in an outfit, but yes, I love this question or this point of, like, it's not a cartoon. People change clothes is a great statement. So from Al's comment, Nae'blis, do you like this connection potentially from a costume design
and
standpoint?
that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about historical Korean clothing to really make the comment, so I'm glad somebody did. But it makes total sense from anytime you do any type of design for something like this, there's typically thematical elements that you want to pull in to kind of be consistent, maybe not culturally at least, and that would make so much sense that they would match in a way, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. I wasn't aware of that necessarily, that connection, but that's awesome. And I see Lezbi Nerdy and Bard of the Red Hand. Obviously, Jenny lives in Korea, and Bard of the Red Hand, I believe Vance's wife is Korean. I could be wrong on that. I could be, but in any case, they're both saying the same thing. So I feel like that's probably that's a great connection. I love that.
Sorry. Dana just wrote.
I've just seen it as well.
So Harry is Narg's cousin. Yes. Oh my gosh. What if Steve is actually in one of these costumes? Like Steve is like a lead Trolloc. Oh man. Anyways,
what if Steve is the Murdral and the Murdral is like a fat guy?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so there are two international callers. I know, and I apologize for those that are waiting. I want to bring them in because this call must cost a lot. So let me bring them in first here. Let me welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey, it's Jenny, Lezbi Nerdy.
Lezbi Nerdy, hey. Cheers.
Name dropped me, and I'm here.
Yeah,
we summoned you, and you have arrived.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, to go along with the costume
yes,
comments.
I am in South Korea, as Nate said.
I
was just...
sorry, go ahead, Jenny.
Yeah, the previous comments we were talking about maybe there's a theme between Lan's costume and Moiraine's, and bringing out like it does kind of look like Vance actually said like that there's a modern sort of fashion trend to make modern hanboks, a hanbok being a Korean traditional dress, which I can see that in what she's wearing. That's actually not why I called, but when he was saying that, I was like, oh, I can totally see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Anyway.
Ibi Ali
But the
in
reason I
chat
called
said...
is...
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I just cut you off again. Sorry,
Sorry, go
Jenny,
ahead.
Go
There's
ahead.
a bit of a delay.
Sorry.
No, there's a delay. There's a delay. Go ahead.
There was a user that said, a viewer on chat that said, the braided belt piece is also on Egwene's costume from the leaked Faldara set photos. So again, just connecting the braided element in other type of costuming. So, go ahead. What was your thought?
Oh, it's cool. Okay. Well, the reason I called is when I was on last time, I said that I thought possibly the hard cut in the Lan video was a close-up of a Trolloc, and I totally think it is now. Like, I totally think that cut there was just like now let's take a good look at this gross Trolloc face, and then back to Lan. Like, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Do you like your Trolloc hairy or not?
Oh my!
I don't know. Actually, this is not something I've thought about. I am grateful for the cod piece that the previous caller mentioned. I'm just glad that that's there. But as far as whether I want them to be hairy or not, I don't know. I want them to be gross. Like, I want when we see a Trolloc face to be repulsed by it.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And it looks like I don't know. Maybe I can't tell if a hairier Trolloc is more repulsive than a less hairier Trolloc. I guess we'll find out. Any other kind of? Did you notice anything else about this that we haven't kind of gone over, or something you liked or didn't like about it?
The only other thing I noticed, like Vance pointed out, the horns. I noticed the Trollocs' legs. Like, you can see the joint on the ankle is an animal joint. Like, it's not a human joint. But I do agree with Vance. I think it's a person in a suit. They're probably on, like, animal lifts or whatever you call it. I'm not a costumer. But I like that they paid attention to that. So it's not just, people in suits. Like, you can see the ankle that is an animal joint. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, we haven't now we're gonna have to get some close-ups of Lan's belt reflection, and now a close-up of the hooves.
You know what? It does look like hooves.
Yes.
It really does look like hooves.
Yeah, that's for Daniel. That's for Daniel Green.
Hooves. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hooves for Daniel. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's if Daniel
Speaking of Daniel, where the hell is our ice cream?
Yeah, come on.
I
ice
know.
cream, Dan,
This is
come on.
Edmonds Field, right? I feel like it's now just a matter of eating the ice cream. It's not if the ice cream. It's just a matter of eating it. By the way, Brent Weber in chat wrote, I don't often prefer Trollocs, but when I do, they have to be hairy, naked, and horny. Well put. Oh gosh.
Beautiful.
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh.
I went with nargscaping personally, but that's
nargscaping is #nargscaping is really good. Yes.
That one was better. That was so much better. That one. That was.
Oh my gosh. Well, Jenny, thank you very much for being part of this impromptu live stream all about hairy Trollocs.
Thanks for doing it. Yes.
Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. We got to get you back here at the Dusty Wheel, man. We have to make that happen. So we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jenny.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Aradia made a really good comment. So how are there only 65 likes after a comment like that?
Yeah, please do. If you're here, please do like this video. We'd love, again, for other fans to jump in and take part in this madness that is our discussion about Trollocs and nargscaping, and Harry, the cousin of Narg, and hooves for Daniel. There's just it goes on and on. So yeah, please do like this video. Again, that's how people will find this. And let's get to our other international caller, and then we'll bring the other callers into the show. And let's welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey, this is Roger from Germany. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Very
So,
yeah. So tell us, what are your thoughts on this? Did you just see this tonight, or did you see this in the morning?
No, maybe 2 hours before the stream, I noticed that.
Gotcha.
Through the Wheel of the Wheel community. But what I really want to address is the words they promoted this with in German.
Oh yeah.
They said bald. They said bald, which means soon. But when you use something to promote something in Germany, if you use bald, it doesn't mean it's half a year or more away. It means 3 to 4 months maybe. So we might get the show even sooner than as we think.
Wow. Okay. So we're talking early May, June, July, August, September. So you're saying that it doesn't. It's not a 6 month kind of phraseology. I don't know if that's even a word, but there's
normally not.
Sorry, go ahead.
I could be wrong though, but normally we don't promote it this early in Germany. So that you say, okay, it's coming soon, and it's half a year away. Normally.
So yeah, that's an excellent point. If you go and actually translate those words, what's being brought up is that the word soon is not something that's used to mean later, like 6 months and later. It's actually something that is soon and suggests that it could be 3 to 4 months away. And that's insane. Like, I don't think anyone was really saying that they would see something in September. What are your thoughts here, Rob, on this? That this could be portending a release in September.
I mean, that's very exciting. Obviously, I went to the tweet and hit the translate button. It says, "What about the women in this tower? Hashtag the Wheel of Time. The new Amazon original series will be available soon on Prime Video." I mean, you don't put soon in a tweet for a show that you think is going to be epic if it's going to be 6 months away. So at least I wouldn't put soon personally. So
By the way, this goes back to that comment we made before by the Amish comic. Hopefully they're not firing this person on social media, because we're all like, it says soon, and we got this clip, and then this poor person's like, well, I was given this information to post. I don't know.
They told me to post this on August 6th. I got the dates wrong.
Yeah, they told me, so in Germany the date is 9/5. Maybe they sent it across, the 9th of May. Maybe they sent it across, and he's meant to put it on the 5th of September.
Oh my gosh.
Instead. What day is the 5th of September? Is the 5th of September a Wednesday, perhaps? I'm going to look. I'm going to.
You have to look now. If it is,
if it is, that's a conspiracy right there.
No, the 5th of September is a Sunday, gents.
It's a Sunday, so no conspiracy theories there.
Now, the only I will give you some pushback to that. I suppose that's very possible. That would imply that they had a lot more done than we maybe think they do, because they're just now finishing filming.
Well, it might also imply that we are going to get something like more weekly than all at once also. In other words, they have a little bit of time, perhaps. I don't know if they ever use that. I don't know if that's a thing.
I can't imagine that they're going to release any part of the show until it's all finished.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all finished, but in the sense of, if they're finishing up filming right now, maybe they feel confident with timing. Maybe September was the earliest that they were planning, and they're feeling really good about it. And so this might suggest that they did
have an entire year to do post-production on what they had already filmed, and so these are just touch-ups. Maybe it's not a lot that they have to work on. I mean, maybe they really and again, let's think about this too. Let's hypothetically say I'm making this up, I know nothing about this, but let's say that they could have the show entirely finished in 1 month from now. If that was the case, do you think they would sit on it for 6 months?
No. But maybe, I don't know. It's hard to know.
I can't imagine there's a ton of post-production work to do. They had an entire year of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, right. They might be much further ahead than we imagine they are. And they might just be tying up a couple loose ends.
This shot implies it, actually. I mean, I know it's the first this is probably the first episode, right? And obviously there's no necessarily CGI in this, but there actually kind of is CGI in this.
Yeah, there's definitely some CGI, right? Because
Yeah, I agree.
that
there's
wind
CGI,
effect
definitely.
can't all just be. I would imagine.
Well, I mean, they could have been blowing wind and little flakes around, and that could just be a light. I suppose that could be done with practical effects, but
yeah,
I don't know that. I mean, this certainly looks like a very well done shot,
yeah.
and it looks very. I mean, it looks like it's been through post production, and so I mean, it's very possible they had 6 episodes of post production done.
Yeah.
Guys, it's possible we could be getting it in a couple months.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think it's going to be that soon, but
it's a crazy thought. Well, hey, thank you very much for calling in and for, calling in from Germany. If that's a perfect comment. Oh yeah, go ahead go ahead.
I saw some comments in the chat that said, maybe leaked or dropped by failure. But I don't think so. When you look at the subtitles, they are way more down below, and you see they are expending way more besides Moiraine's body, which wouldn't fit the original shot we got last month.
Does the subtitle?
Don't think this is a failure that they got this.
Does what it said in
subtitle on this clip?
Yeah, what was the direct interpretation of that one? Can you give us the interpretation? Does it say basically in German what Moiraine says, which is
it's the same words only in German, but the measurement, the way that they expand on the screen, that will fit to the normal shot we got, even though in Germany last month, when Moiraine was revealed the first time.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, there's obviously work going in, and they're obviously spinning up and ready to promote this thing. And just like Matthew Steinhaus just
not a failure.
Yeah. One of the viewers just tipped us and said, "My guess is all Prime handlers across regions are going to be getting promotional material, and they will all be released on their own schedule." Yeah, I absolutely agree. Thank you very much for that tip, Matt. Yeah, that's a good point too. Thank you for pointing that out. That's the production going into getting this out strangely on a Saturday. I don't know that I agree on timing here. I don't know. Was it supposed to go out today? Was it like that like accidental kind of, you set up something, you schedule it, you in Twitter, and then it like posts it? I don't know. They didn't take it down, so but maybe they thought once it was out, you can't. It's just a strange day to drop something. Is there any reason you can imagine that on a Saturday this would drop and it was done on purpose?
Maybe Saturday is a better day to release in Germany.
Maybe it's streaming on Saturdays. It's quite a normal day for new shows with big budget to start.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in and pointing those things out. Really appreciate it. And yeah, definitely give us a call back again. Love having you here. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
and thanks for staying up. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Yeah, great points. It does look like this is all on purpose. I just find the Saturday thing to be really strange. I don't know.
Yeah, I realized I'd reversed the wrong date, because for me it's already the 9th of May, and obviously this was dropped yesterday on the 8th of May, but I checked the dates, and the 5th of August is still a Thursday, not a Wednesday. So you tried,
but
it's much closer. I tried. So
that was really close. We have a couple more callers here, and let me bring them in. We'll try to be quicker here. I don't want to give everyone their time to speak, but I want to have a chance to bring everybody in. So let's bring our next one in. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, it's Emmy.
Emmy, hey. How you doing? Hey. Well,
Hi.
It's awesome to have you. So what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I came in a little bit late, so I don't know whether you've already mentioned this, but I was thinking this might be the first time that we've seen a channeler use their unique sort of hand movements to channel. I think Rafe said that he's encouraging each actress to sort of come up with their own movements for how they embrace the source. And so I just thought this was really interesting that Rosamund Pike has gone for arms outstretched to the side, and I think I saw that they were palm down to the ground. And sort of when I was reading the books, I sort of just imagined it as sort of hand movements in front of their chest, sort of, I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting, and that this might be the first time we've seen an individual actress's choice in embracing the source.
Yeah, let's watch the trailer real quick and see that again here. Let's show everybody.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
You know what? I think I want to say her palms are.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
It looks like her elbows are.
Yeah.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
Well, she's facing down. She's almost like she's flying.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
Oh yeah,
her palms are down. Her palms are down.
Do not underestimate the
Are they
women
down?
in this tower.
I can't like.
It is tough to see.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
Back out. At the very beginning of it.
Do not
Oh
underestimate
yeah,
the women
you're
in
right.
this tower.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I agree. So that is her. They are down, like you said. That's interesting. And thank you for bringing that up, Emmy, which is that Rafe had mentioned that he was going to allow them or have them come up with their own there. And like you said, that maybe that was just Rosamund's version of that. Without a staff, I get, wanting to have some other focus like they've talked about in the books. And, in this case, I guess it's her arms for this particular, weave that she's doing. So, yeah, that's a really interesting thing. Anything else kind of, catch your eye before we let you go?
I was thinking that I don't think it's too unreasonable that maybe we will see it in 3 or 4 months. I know that Jennifer Tion Garcia, who plays, oh my gosh, her character's just completely slipped my mind.
Liana. Yeah.
She's just been filming Van Helsing, and she was filming it throughout COVID. And I remember her, I think it was maybe in her interview with Trolloc Real, saying how sort of they were setting the standard for filming within the COVID sort of situation. And that series is coming out right now, and that's got a lot of VFX. Obviously, probably not the same sort of budget that we're looking at with Wheel of Time, but for them to have filmed during COVID and be releasing it now, I don't think that it would be too unreasonable to think that Wheel of Time might be coming out sooner than we might have thought. But the other thing is, I know that there's like The Witcher is meant to be coming out sort of towards the end of the year, so they might be watching when that's going to come out and time it around there so that they don't conflict with each other. But
I can imagine the date being kind of really fluid there. Yeah, great points, Emmy. Sorry for making you wait so long. I know everyone jumped on the call. It's awesome to have you here, but awesome to hear your voice. And again, we need to have you back here at the Dusty Wheel soon. So, Emmy, awesome.
I'd love to.
Great comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
You too. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yep. Anything else kind of coming? Anything you've seen in chat? Dana pointed this out. When the audio was playing, I didn't notice how loud the audio was, and so they couldn't hear what we were saying. So back to that last clip, the comments we had were that it did look like her palms were down in that situation. Mm-hmm. If you went back and looked, like you could see her thumb. And we were looking to see, obviously, if her palms were up or down. And so the consensus was that you might not have heard over that audio was that yes, it looks like thumbs down. I like that. I can't get it out of my head, Nae'blis, now that I almost, because of the way the camera work is happening, I almost feel like she's flying. I can't believe that she's not flying. That would be a big step. But that would be an interesting choice. So,
do you remember the movie Angels in the Outfield?
Yes.
What if she just started doing the little flapper wings thing?
Okay.
Her channeling thing. That's what she did every time she channeled.
Was that her block? She had to flap her arms instead.
Flap her arms.
Let's bring our next caller into the show. They've been waiting patiently. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
This is Mike from Northern Kentucky.
Mike from Kentucky. Hey, thank you for being with us. Thank you for waiting online here. And what are your thoughts now seeing this? Yeah, it's awesome to have you. What are your thoughts about the the first look at Moiraine, the more full look, I guess?
Well, I saw it on Facebook and I was just like, holy cow! I need to check YouTube and see if Matt's doing anything.
I almost didn't. The production was away, and so I didn't want to, confirm that we were doing anything. But my son ended up back in time to make this happen. So yeah, I'm glad you stopped in and that we were able to do this tonight. It's been a lot of fun so far. So, what are your thoughts of everything you've heard said, shared, and what you saw?
Well, I've got everything. It's just my brain's lighting up with all this stuff. One thing I noticed that I don't think I saw anybody comment on, other than maybe myself in the comments, was that if you look positionally where they are, I think in the land reveal trailer, the light that looked like the channeling light was off to Land's right. So that kind of lines up positionally with this reveal.
Yep.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that that's definitely probably Land there. I want to go see it though. Yeah, because Land, you're right. It's off to his right, and that would be if his back was turned. That's right. Yeah. I think you're right there for sure. I mean, I think we all agree on that one, definitely.
But I thought that was kind of cool. And I think it took me like 3 or 4 times through just to see Trolloc. And I was like, oh, wait, there's something fighting. That's a blur. Can I slow it down?
Yes.
Thing. And but something that kind of occurred to me though is that through my like dozen rereads of the books, I have, whenever I've pictured like Trollocs lining up to get ready to fight or something like that, like a Battle of Emmenfield or whatnot, I've always pictured them as huge, but I could never imagine them like fighting somebody like human sized. Yeah. They always shrunk in my mind down to human size because it did not equate. But seeing this kind of pulled things together in my head and like, oh wow, yeah, that's how that looks.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, which is that they are impressive for the little we can see. The size is impressive, and that's what we wanted to see, right? We wanted that same feeling, even though even our heads when we size them down. So yeah, that's totally agree with that. You think are you for sure? Are you for sure this is Ebbins Field? Or do you think this is somewhere else?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think there's any good case to be made that the Trollocs are attacking and then Rosamund's in the middle of what looks to be a village, and Lan is fighting off Trollocs to not be Emond's Field. And it makes sense that that's what they would show for the trailer, right? So this being a part of that trailer just makes a lot of sense. Anything else that stood out to you?
Yeah, I think her outfit actually makes me believe even more in the she's getting ready for bed thing, because it looks totally like a night shift, and maybe she just slipped a robe on to go outside and kill some things.
Yeah, you could absolutely see that, and maybe whatever that's a skirt, threw a skirt on over her night shift or something, whatever it is. It does seem like it's really simple, and I agree with you. It kind of feeds into that idea that this definitely was happening at night. It tells us so much. I know I saw this comment in chat, wait, that's all? Yeah, it's 5 seconds. It's 3.5 seconds more than the previous one that we saw of her. And we're definitely pulling out a lot of things here that are really, really fascinating. And I can't even imagine what the trailer's going to be like, honestly. The trailer's going to be ridiculous.
Oh, for sure.
10-hour live stream.
Like the goat hoof. Yeah, goat hooves on the Trolloc was really cool looking too.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that was brought up. Again, that's not something I noticed this time through. So, all the times I've watched it, haven't even seen that. So, well, hey, thank you very much, Mike, for calling in. Appreciate you waiting online and sharing those thoughts with us. And yeah, I'm glad you saw the note on Facebook. Sometimes I'm not sure. I try to get the social media out. I'm glad you saw that and jumped over. Yeah, you had a final thought.
Yeah, one final thought on the Trolloc being a hairy Trolloc with a codpiece. It looks to me like the fur is out in tufts on his shoulders, maybe he's wearing a fur cloak type of thing.
Oh, on the Trolloc. Oh. Okay, interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have to go look at that.
I want to say, I want to say that they wore furs on their armors and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, now I have to go. Yeah, I have to look into it. I don't know. This is not. What's so funny about these things is not things I ever focused on. It was my brain as I read the book was Trolloc, don't care. I was cool, Trollocs. I'm moving on. So, hey, Mike, I'm gonna have to check those out. I'm gonna have to do some, some zooming in and actually seeing if I can identify what you meant. That'd be interesting. So, I love it. Thank you for bringing that to the conversation, man. We'll have a good evening.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now I have to see. Have you guys looked at the trailer to see if you can tell that that's the case?
I'm literally just playing back and forth, looking at that Trolloc, and it looks like he's got puffy shoulders. So I can absolutely see what he's talking about there.
So Noman Garden said Rosamund reposted this on her Twitter. Is that right?
What?
Huh?
Go check this out. Did she repost this on Twitter? That's crazy. So while you both look into that, let me bring our next caller in. We have 3 more. We're going to bring those callers in, get final thoughts from everybody. You've all been wonderful. Thank you for being here tonight. This has been a blast. We keep on finding new things and talking about new aspects of this 5-second clip. And then there'll be comments and afterwards like, I can't believe you guys talked about an hour and a half about 5 seconds. It happens. Just imagine the trailer.
She didn't. Rosamund Pike does not have a Twitter. But the Amazon Prime account tagged a fan Rosamund Pike Twitter account.
Gotcha. Okay, so they tagged the wrong. That makes sense. Let me bring our next caller into the show. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, this is Kevin.
Kevin, welcome to the show. What are your thoughts?
Well, so I originally called and was going to, because there was all the costume talk.
Yeah.
And I was going to comment that this is definitely a different outfit than the one photo that we saw leaked like a few months ago.
Oh yeah, good point.
Because that one has like a collar, all the neck like the necklines were like right beneath her chin.
Yep.
So this is definitely a different outfit. So I do think it's a casual thing or a was getting ready for bed thing or something like that. But the whole intent of the phone call completely changed after listening to a bunch of the other people.
Sure.
And so talking about potential release dates.
Okay.
So I haven't had a whole lot of time to do extensive research, but if you look at Amazon Prime Originals, first seasons, okay? I don't care about the second seasons or whatever, because then it's already an established thing. But for first seasons, working our way backwards, so you have Carnival Row. The trailer released 42 days before the first episode.
Okay.
The Boys, season 1, the trailer released 38 days before the first episode.
Okay.
Good Omens, season 1, the trailer released 56 days before the first episode. Hannah, trailer released 30 days before the first episode for season 1. And Jack Ryan, season 1, the trailer released 51 days before the first episode.
Sheesh. Okay. Wow. So basically you're saying between 30 and 60 days, typically for Amazon, for these last releases, first season, they give us the trailer and we have the series sometime in that time frame. Wow.
Where did you get those figures at? The only reason... Well, the Jack Ryan, they did a Supergirl trailer that came out like 8 months before it, I think.
Trailer, not teaser.
Okay.
Yeah, you're saying full trailer.
So basically, I just went to Amazon's YouTube.
Gotcha.
And see when the oldest thing was for a legit trailer. So the rumored May release, I have no idea if that's a trailer or a teaser. You know, is it going to be 40 seconds long or is it going to be 2 minutes long? You know,
are the trailers you're bringing up?
That I don't know.
Are the trailers you're talking about all 1.5 to 2 minutes long, or any of? Or
like legit trailers.
Wow. Okay, so that's a good point.
The marketing for this has been really weird. Because normally, you know, you have a teaser, and I don't know if what we've had has classified as teasers, or if this is just kind of like we're throwing stuff to the fans. And honestly, I feel like most of the stuff we've had, we may not have gotten if it wasn't for COVID, if it wasn't for those delays.
Interesting. Yeah,
we may have seen a more normal series of teasings, but you know, they're probably like, everyone's excited and we've got some stuff and we'll just dribble stuff to the fans because why not?
Oh man, so those two comments together, yours, what you just talked about, and what the fan from Germany mentioned was basically that maybe we could see this if we just see a trailer drop in May or June, like a full one. We could have a series by August, September. Like that is standard at the very least. and that is a lot
Yeah.
sooner than a lot of people were thinking. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and when I
most
was
definitely.
looking at this, that was the other thing I didn't. Carnival Row released in July. Man in the High Castle released in July. Its trailer came out after the show released, though. So that was
interesting.
Jack Ryan released in July. Boys released in June. Hannah and Good Omens released in February and March. But again, it's a small sampling. I don't know if it actually means anything, but when I was looking up stuff,
yeah,
it does kind of look like they prefer late summer releases.
Wow.
But again, it's wild speculation.
Yeah, I know you're right. It's wild speculation. That's what this is all about. Like, you come to the Dusty Wheel for news and rumors that appeal. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. So I love this idea.
And what's the quote? What's the quote from Brandon Sanderson? Most of it was false, anyways. Or
yes, yeah. You came
like
here
that?
to basically. I can't think of the quote, but yes, it was like most of it was untrue, but that was half the fun, or part. That was the fun, basically. So I love that you are starting this speculation and giving it life, or at least adding to the life it has, because now all the fans sitting here right now are going, wait. So you're saying there's a chance, basically by September. I was thinking November, so December kind of time frame. Well, Kevin, that's awesome. I want to leave you then. You tell us then from your research. I want you to put down what day do you think this is going to come out?
Oh, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I'm going to go with middle of August.
Middle of August. Okay, it's down here.
So
if it happens
we'll
middle of
just go
August,
with August 17th. I have no idea what day of the week that is, but it's my mom's birthday, so we'll just go with August 17th.
I love it. So, by the way, if it launches middle of August, get back a hold of me. I'll send you a mug. That's a great. That's your guess, and I'm happy to send you a Dusty Wheel mug if you get that right. That's amazing. Hey, thank you so much for waiting and for sharing that, and doing the research, man. Hey, we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
No problem. Alrighty, bye.
Yeah. Bye. So. What do you think about this, Rob? Have you been convinced that we're getting this earlier than you thought?
now I'm taking the conspiracy theories further, and I'm thinking this is some sort of code that they've messed up the dates of 8th of May and then going the 5th of August being the release date, because that's only a few that would fit in the time frame that was just in the phone call. So I'm even going to go as far as to say as the 5th of August is the release date, even though it's a Thursday. So. he's sort of I love crazy theories and ideas, so I'm in for this. I love it.
Roger said in chat, sorry about that. Sorry for that September hope. Yeah, I think Roger called us. I think Roger's the one that gave us the hope here initially, and now it's been built on by Kevin. So thank you both for giving us some hope here. Nae'blis, what's your thoughts before we take our final two callers? Do you think this is happening earlier than you thought?
No, I'm sure. Here's what I think. I don't think we'll get an August release no matter what. Because August is not. There's too much going on in August with people going back to school. They won't release a show in August, unfortunately. But here's what I will take from this. I think it's very possible that the show will be completed, and the decision on the release date will have less to do with the completion of the show, and more to do with when The Witcher, Stranger Things, with when some of the other shows are dropping, The Expanse, The Boys, like. They're not going to want to release this at the same time of one of their other major releases.
Yep.
Or one of the major releases on another studio. So they definitely will avoid The Witcher, which is also coming out in 2021.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I still think you're right. I think the date is fluid. I don't
think they know it yet because they're waiting to hear when some of these other shows are dropping.
Yeah, I agree. Let's bring in our second to last caller to the show. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
It's Morgan from Podcast of the Dragon.
Morgan, how you doing? Hey. So you've heard it all up to this point, I think. What are your thoughts now? What have you been thinking while you've been waiting?
Well, I first thought when I saw it along the lines of Nae'blis that she took something out of HRC's closet. And I like the idea that she's levitating there and she's wearing a pantsuit because the billowing clothes would, not work for levitating. But actually, I think she's probably wearing a bathrobe, which is less interesting. But, I'm here for the modern.
I like levitating HRC. Oh man, in a pantsuit. I can already. Someone needs to create that. Just because
I saw in chat earlier that someone's already made it made a thing. They put the face on, and it's out there on Twitter or somewhere. It's
but
but
the levitation's there too.
Not the levitation though. So
okay,
they need to go back and fix that.
I need levitation. I can't unsee the levitation now, unfortunately. Oh yes, here we go. Nae'blis is already. That's all we need. Yes.
I'm totally here for a more modern costume because I think it makes more sense for her to not walk around in a princess dress that always seemed, very like not incognito.
Right.
Yeah.
And
yes. What's funny about this is I wonder if he used a dress to differentiate, like, in other words, he was trying to kind of appeal to Lord of the Rings fans. But I don't think he wanted a one-to-one, like, this is a wizard. So it was like, this is a princess. I don't know, like, and I absolutely love that they're walking. Well, it seemed to be. Again, we know very little. I know it's like we don't know. Maybe she'll be in the dress, later on in this. Maybe she was in a dress and wasn't here in this moment, but earlier was. So it's so hard to know. But I do like I'm with you there. I'm leaning towards like, sure, innovate on the fashion side. I don't, make it something unique. Why wouldn't a new turning of a wheel or a turning of a wheel in the Third Age, 6,000 years from now, be something that isn't exactly directly taken and just stolen from our direct past? It would be different. It would be interesting. It would be an iteration, if you will. So I love it.
100%. Put it in a blender. So I think the Trollocs got armor on it for sure. I wish it were a little bit less hairy, but if its face looks really human, that'll be really creepy. So I think that'll work.
Is that you want some nargscaping? Is that what I'm hearing, Morgan?
Well, just a little bit, but I just don't want it to look like it's wearing a Chewbacca suit.
Yeah,
that is true. Okay, now
fair,
I'm hearing the concern now from Nae'blis. Now that encapsulates it for me. Okay, so you just don't want Chewbacca. I understand.
Okay. Right. Well, I don't want a Minotaur and I don't want Chewbacca.
That's fair.
But what if it's somewhere between? It's a portion. It's a little bit Chewbacca, a little bit Minotaur, and something else.
The problem though is if I am looking at it, I don't see a human face. I almost see a snout as I'm watching slow-mo, and I don't. I'm hoping that's not all Trollocs.
You're like, give me some some hairless, not all Trollocs, hairless Trollocs. Give me some Trollocs with human feet. Give us some Trollocs without horns but snouts. I can't imagine they're not doing that. Like they have been. I can't imagine the costumers or whoever creating Trollocs were just like, just make them all this one way. I'd be surprised.
100%. And then the last thing is that my wife and I actually Googled what it meant to gird your loins because she was wondering. And it actually technically means to tie up your skirts. So, now I always wondered what it meant when they tied up their skirts in the Wheel of Time. And now I have a visual of it. It's you gird your loins.
I love it. I had no idea that was the... That's well. Thank her very much for us. That's awesome. I love that you've brought the definition of that, which I had, and now I can't stop thinking about that. Maybe she's just girding her loins here. I don't know. Maybe that's what we're seeing with her. So yeah, that's awesome.
She girds her loins before she levitates. Okay.
I love it. Oh gosh, this has almost transcended Steve's life. This has been great. Hey, thank you so much, Morgan, for calling in, and you too. Can't wait to have you back here at the Dusty Wheel. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Morgan.
Bye.
Great. Oh my gosh. Everyone's comments have been so unique.
This is brilliant.
This has been crazy. This is like, I was like, 5 seconds. Surely we can't talk about this additional 3.5 seconds for almost 2 hours. No, that will never happen. Okay. Last caller, last thoughts. Thank you everybody in chat for being here. You're all amazing. This was what a wonderful way to spend the end of a Saturday evening. So let's bring our last caller to the show. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, it's Alex.
Alex, thank you very much for being here. So last caller today. you've heard everything, I think, and you've been waiting a long time. What are your thoughts?
I think it looks trailer looks great. Honestly, my first thought when I saw it was the trailer looks fantastic. It looks real and it looks menacing.
Yeah, like that's what we want, right? So yeah, that was really a succinct way of putting like, if we haven't really focused on that, like this is our first look at Trollocs, and I'm not hearing a lot of. That's where I didn't hear any complaints from fans. Now we haven't gotten a close up here, and yes, we want some different variations of Trolloc, but no one's saying like that doesn't look menacing from the blurs that we're seeing at the very least. So
That's true.
Yeah,
Another
go
thing I noticed also is if it's CG, I think it looks really realistic, and I think it will help casual viewers that've never heard the Wheel of Time to see that and be like, wow, that looks like a real creature there. It looks something that has a high budget. And I think if it's someone in a costume, I think it's even better because it's going to really help viewers really see a creature that's really menacing and can really help in the fight, I guess.
Yeah, I think an earlier person mentioned in chat, I can't remember who it was. Oh, maybe it's Lee. Leah said that those definitely must be people in costumes because there was a prosthetics company that was used, and that was the belief that. But I think you're right. I think it's going to be a mix. There's got to be some CGI mixed into this, to maybe and definitely on close-ups to the Trollocs, I would imagine. But yeah, I agree. Practical, if that's all practical, that's looking really good. Oh, you're laughing, Nae'blis. Did you see something?
Just they're going off in chats about different animal Trollocs that we.
Okay, but that's a good way to turn this. Alex, what type of animal would you like to see made into a Trolloc?
Hamster Trollocs, oh my god.
Gerbil Trollocs.
I kind of want to see a wolf, because they just got like different kind of like pig heads, and I think if they really have a variety, I think it's gonna really help viewers because if they just have one standard, it kind of makes Trollocs kind of generic. And that's one of the things I liked about the Trollocs in the books. They weren't all the same, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree. A wolf Trolloc is going to be awesome. They better have a wolf Trolloc here. I love Rob Christensen said Ewok. That's good. Oh gosh, everyone's having a good time tonight. Yeah, Alex, any final thoughts about it? Any questions for us, or other things you noticed?
One thing I did notice. Some earlier callers said that the outfit Moiraine is wearing is actually different. In reality, when I saw a clear image, her outer outfit is actually the one we saw from the leaked picture. It's just not buttoned. So I think it does. I think the thing we see underneath is her garments, and the outer coat is her normal dress she wears buttoned up. Because if you look at her sides in a clear image, you can see the sparkled just sparkled parts that we saw in the leaked picture. So I think normally she probably woke up, put on her outer garment, and went outside.
Gotcha. You think that is that coat, and you do see the embroidery. I can't show it to you right now on the screen here and slowly, but there is some embroidery up by the neck. So now I need to go and find that picture and do a comparison. I think that would be a great comparison. Honestly, I think unraveling the pattern, Lauren's going to come watch this whole video, and then he's going to do a deep dive into all those things, make sure he doesn't miss anything. Yeah, great point. I wonder if that is, like you said, she threw on a jacket, but it's not buttoned, and that's just like the undergarment to that dress, if you will. That makes a lot of sense, and I like that connection there. So yeah, that's a great point.
I see it. It's a different shade. So I'm looking at that picture right now.
It's a different shade, but does it have? Yeah.
Well, it's hard to tell, but it's a different shade of blue. But you're right. It does have. It's got a collar that's basically in that picture. It's a little undone, so it's like it could have been fully undone in this.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to do there's so many kind of close-ups now that I want to do on the hoof, because we need to send the hoof for Daniel.
Yep.
Showing Lan's belt, we need to highlight that one. The weapon that the Trolloc looks to have, the levitation. No, we don't need a picture of that. I just love the idea of her levitating, and now the dress here. That's what a comparison. I can't wait to see those two next to each other. So, yeah, great points here, Alex. Any final thoughts? What do you think now? You've heard some of these comments about when this thing is. Maybe we'll get a full trailer. A lot of people put out there that maybe we'll see a trailer in May or June. What do you think from a release date we will see for the show?
I think fall's a very likely date. Some of the earlier callers are saying like some of the other Amazon shows kind of released the trailer right before it was released. Well, for The Expanse and I think some other ones, they had a teaser trailer at a Comic-Con, really short one, and then closer to the release they had a full trailer. So it's possible we get a teaser that's like a minute long this month, and then closer towards the release date we'll get a full 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. Maybe the trailer that everyone thinks is coming is actually the teaser version of that. You know, like you said, maybe 45-second trailer. Then maybe in September we get the full trailer, and then later on that's one way. But I think it probably is a fluid date, and when these things are going to happen. And that soon word in German really just resonates in my brain. Now I'm like, can we trust our social media crew over in Germany that they used the right word to say what they knew, or was that just information they were given to post? Who knows? Well, Alex, thank you very much for waiting online. You had great thoughts. Everyone did today, but thank you very much for being our final caller of the evening and for hanging out with us, talking all about this surprise release today. Have a good evening, okay?
You too.
You too. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Great callers. I mean, everyone brought something new and interesting to the conversation. Jeez, that was crazy. And it's already almost been 2 hours. This is insane. So, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, I said this last time. If they release a full trailer, everybody needs to take off about 5 days of work in a row. A live stream for a week to talk about that trailer.
This is not a joke. If you're watching this, I keep on telling everybody like a 10+ hour live stream. I plan to have like every content creator that wants to join in just jump in, and we'll just like rotate or something and just keep talking and talking and talking about this, because we're gonna want to dive deep into this stuff.
I have one more thing to say to everybody in chat too. This is really important. Everybody needs to be aware of this. You are still watching this. You are officially a nerd. Guys, you might be in denial, but you are. You're a nerd. So just saying.
You are. These are geeks, nerds. You're awesome. We love you here. Please do again subscribe here. We'd love to have you following us. Malkier Talks runs. Well, what don't you run? YouTube channel, a podcast. He does all sorts of stuff. But you can go check out Malkier Talks. I'm sure you can find everything if you just look up Malkier Talks in YouTube. He'll have all the links there. And of course, Nae'blis with the Great Blight, the Nae'blis channel, and Tarvalon After Dark. Nae'blis is doing all sorts of stuff and fun stuff here in the Wheel of Time world. I don't have those links to set in the description, but please do follow those. And like I think I saw Bar the Red Hand put in chat, we do an after show on Discord. If you want to come talk with us, continue this conversation, you can find the link to the Discord in the description of this video or in chat if you're here with us over on YouTube. And we will go jump over to the Dusty Wheel, and we do this after every live show, and we just keep talking about this stuff because, again, what Nae'blis said, we're all nerds. Okay, so final comments from you two. I'll start with you, Rob. That was an hour, 45 minutes. How are you feeling about everything that was said tonight? Where are you at?
I'm pumped. I think we're, just more evidence that we're going to get something sooner than we hoped for, considering the past year. Maybe not as quick as some of us would really love, but yeah. And I'm just that Trolloc, seeing a Trolloc today. I mean, oh my God, like just blew my mind.
Real, we just saw a Trolloc.
I know.
We do, yeah. We've been, the amount of times I've seen people on other places, other social media platforms, like, stop giving me all this and just give me a Trolloc. Well, Germany delivered.
You've got one.
So. Germany delivered the Trolloc. So, yeah. Thank you to the social media people at Germany Prime Video. Whether or not this was on purpose or not, we don't care. You delivered it, and we really appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, great comment, Rob. Nae'blis, any final thoughts from you?
What I just said. We just saw a freaking Trolloc, guys. It's real. It's happening, and that looked. It's huge.
Oh yeah.
The legs on that thing. It may be too hairy.
I mean, we saw a Minotaur, but it's cool. It's a really cool looking Minotaur.
There'll be other Trollocs, I promise you, Nae'blis.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that we're finally here. 2021 will be the year we always look back on as the launch of the Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. I can't believe it's not happening this year. And from what it sounds like, it could be happening in 4 months from now. We don't know. I want to leave you with this. We'll watch this 2 more times. I'll come back on and say goodnight. But here's the trailer that we got today, thankfully, from the German Prime Video accounts on social media across Twitter and Instagram. This is what they gave us.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower. Do not underestimate the women in this tower. Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
So that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed that last thing there. That was so fun to watch that. Okay, everyone, jump over to Discord. Make sure you like this video on the way out. And thank you, Nae'blis and Rob, for being here. This was a lot of fun, everybody. Good night from the Dusty Wheel. And as we say here, smash to black. You went right to kill it. Look at you, you're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like, this is
really well. And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the 2 rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So,
just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm
sad.
I see Nakomi as something along the lines of a Shadar Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is consistently why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge! Yay!
Pharaoh's like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all of a sudden,
this is not just a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi elements. And just a moment ago, Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guests in here with me, and probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no.